Good morning, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, April 27th, and it's currently 97 degrees. We're coming to you from our Edinburgh studio. I'm Ariana Galladro.
I'm Eliseo Gonzalez.
And this is
Vaquero News.
Campus news,
events, games,
and activities
all in one place.
This is Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Vaquero Radio, where your
story begins.
In the port of Brownsville, a proposed high-tech project could boost the economy of the Rio Grande Valley, but it also raises serious questions from the community. Reporter Emilio Suarez with the details.
I don't think the Valley has seen anything like this yet. We've seen shipbuilders that take apart ships, and we're talking big ships, but high-tech drone makers we haven't seen.
Project Port Alpha could boom the economy, but it could also drive up housing costs and pressure the environment. Economics professor Gautam Hasarika said regions often try to attract major employers with incentives such as tax breaks and low-cost land. Saronic Technologies has already attracted billions in investment and plans to produce dozens of autonomous vessels each year.
There will be a whole range of jobs.
The impact wouldn't stop there. Hasarika said major investments lead to the recipients of those salaries spending their money in the area, helping local businesses with their revenues and could potentially increase hiring. But growth comes with inflation. Higher paid workers could drive up housing costs across the RGV.
They start demanding high-quality housing that drives up property values, and that can be good and bad.
Hasarika said situations like these often lead to gentrification, where the people with lower income levels are driven out. He added projects such as these could potentially favor UTRGV students.
Best case scenario would be that companies like this start recruiting engineers from UTRGV.
Hasarika added autonomous warships are a cheaper and easier option to declare wars, making the world a more unstable place. Cybersecurity Department Professor of Practice Robert Ansaldúa said that while these systems can integrate effectively, their success depends heavily on how they are programmed and secured within command and control systems suited to the environment. Ansaldúa said human-operated vessels have fewer digital vulnerabilities, but once autonomy is introduced, the risks multiply.
If you just have a human running a boat, there's really not much cyber that can get into it. But when you have an autonomous system, all of a sudden you've added a whole different complexity and attack surface.
He said apart from data theft, control is a major concern, as if somebody takes over the boat and does bad things with it. Ansaldúa also said compromised systems could expose sensitive navigation data, which could be especially dangerous in a military context.
You need to have a layered defense in cybersecurity of the classic stuff like firewalls, antivirus, but also the newer, more advanced things.
Vaquero Radio contacted the Port of Brownsville, but they declined any interviews due to a non-disclosure agreement. This is Emilio Suarez for Vaquero Radio.
Students, faculty, and community members gathered on the Edinburgh campus for a keynote focused on turning curiosity into a meaningful research and real-world impact. Here's reporter Diego Montano with the story.
If I'm there, I can at least dilute some of the things that's happening.
As part of the Undergraduate Research Week, the Office of Engaged Scholarship and Learning hosted a keynote address by Reshan Ray on April 21 at the ballroom on the Edinburgh campus. Ray, a sociology professor and senior fellow, shared insights from his academic and professional journey, encouraging students to see their ideas and lived experience as powerful tools for change. The talk highlighted how curiosity can evolve into impactful research that reaches beyond the classroom. Stephen Foy, professor of sociology and undergraduate research fellow for Engaged Scholarship and Learning, shared his experience as part of the organizing team.
I think it's a great way to start thinking about how you can turn a question you have or a concern you have or a thing that you want to accomplish into something that is tangible.
Bianca de la Rosa, who attended the event, said she valued the chance to engage with others.
I get to communicate with the students, I get to know more about them and what they're doing.
Ray said events like Undergraduate Research Week bring people together to share ideas and inspire innovation.
I thought it was great. This is a conference that brings a lot of undergraduate and graduate students together to share their research, to think about community engagement.
Organizers said the event is part of a broader effort to support students through funding opportunities and mentorship, helping transform their research academic interest into research, creative work, and community engagement projects. For more information on future events, visit the UTRGV webpage on VLink. This is Diego Montano for Vaquero Radio.
The Counseling Center provides services for students all year round. Here's Celeste Cruz with the details.
We just want students to be aware that we are an option out there. We are free. We are confidential.
The University Counseling Center offers different services all year round depending on students' mental health needs. The center provides different confidential services such as individual counseling, couples counseling, and group counseling. Clinical therapist for the Counseling Center, Bianca Esquivel, said she encourages early interventions, such as having a counseling session as soon as the first warning sign shows up.
To make sure that we're avoiding burnout and that we're avoiding, if we experience thoughts of suicide, that we kind of address that and learn and manage it together.
She said anxiety and depression are the most common reasons students go to the Counseling Center.
And usually related to academic stress, but recently relationship-related stress too. And a lot of the times, maybe stuff that has nothing to do with academic stress as well, like family life.
She said before an official session, students have to complete a 20-minute screening assessment.
So a student's first appointment, it's actually called a screening. So it's about a 20-minute interview just to see if they're eligible for services. And at the end of those 20 minutes, we'll give them some recommendations, right, on which services might be most helpful.
Esquivel shared a situation showing the impact of her service, which was when she was able to help a student from a financial constraint.
And so with this particular student, she really went out of her way to tap in all the resources that she had. So she was always very consistent with our sessions, and she was very open about how she was feeling.
Director of the Counseling Center, Christopher Albert, said the center is working to implement a new initiative called the Frontline Project. Albert said the Frontline Project trains faculty, staff, and students to serve as peer counselors.
They can recognize that a student's struggling and then talk with them. And they're more likely to be in a position of already having that trust type of relationship with the student.
Students interested in visiting the Counseling Center can call 956-665-2574 for Edinburgh and 956-882-3897 for Brownsville. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
At UTRGV, there is a new initiative aimed at expanding access to legal education, bringing new opportunities for students pursuing careers in law. Reporter Emilio Suarez with the details.
This one specifically, as I said, is about helping students pursue careers in law without having to leave the Rio Grande Valley, and more importantly, about building the next generation of legal leadership right here in our region.
A partnership with St. Mary's School of Law expects to keep more graduates rooted in South Texas. Vice President for University Marketing and Communications, Patrick Gonzalez, said the partnership with St. Mary's School of Law expands access to legal education in the Rio Grande Valley. Gonzalez said the partnership will bring online JD and MLS programs into a local learning environment at UTRGV, with dedicated classrooms, study space, technology, and on-site report. He said the goal goes beyond academics.
We want to create more opportunity for Valley residents, for UTRGV students, to help stay rooted in this region and strengthen the local workforce over time.
Students who are accepted into St. Mary's online law program may be guaranteed spots in designated Rio Grande Valley cohorts, a move Gonzalez said helps address long-standing barriers in education. Gonzalez explained that while students must still meet all academic requirements, the pathway is designed to make entry into law school more obtainable for students. He added, the idea was proposed by State Representative Armando Martinez, who himself completed St. Mary's fully online JD program while living in the Valley. Gonzalez said the impact could be significant for the region's legal workforce.
This region has talented students who've wanted to pursue careers in law, but the access is always a barrier. Too often students have had to leave the Rio Grande Valley for a legal education, and then when they leave, many of them don't return.
He added that both JD and MLS programs can open doors to positions in law firms, district attorney offices, and other legal settings across South Texas. School of Political Science, Public Affairs, Legal and Security Studies Director Dong Kyu Kim said the new legal education hub opens a critical opportunity for students who might not be able to leave the Valley.
It is a door, very narrow door, just opened up for RGB students.
Kim said that while many students leave South Texas to pursue law degrees, this new legal education hub will be a great opportunity for students who cannot leave. He added people who go to other cities to pursue legal education often don't come back, which contributes to what he called a legal desert in the RGV. where the demand for attorneys exceeds the supply.
They're looking for a lawyer but just cannot find it. Right? So this will definitely help the Rio Grande Valley.
Kim said his advice to UTRGV students is to broaden their academic experience. For more information, call the College of Liberal Arts at 956-882-7818 for Brownsville and 956-665-3551 for Edinburgh. This is Emilio Suarez for Vaquero Radio.
Students stepped back in time this week as the Edinburgh campus transformed into a Renaissance-inspired fair filled with costumes, games, and music. Here's reporter Diego Montaño with the story.
The Campus Activities Board hosted its first ever night out, Renaissance Fair, on April 21 at the Chapel Lawn, bringing students together for an afternoon of theme activities and entertainment. From music to interactive contests, the event encouraged students to dress up, participate, and fully immerse themselves in the medieval atmosphere. Victor Vargas, a freshman who attended the event, said he came out to enjoy the experience and try something new.
Mainly for the experience. I mean, the life is short to not do these type of things.
One of the highlights of the fair was the dragon races, where students navigated a course set across the lawn. Brandon Garcia, who helped organize the activity, described how it worked.
So, give you a visual representation, we have some orange cones laid out, and from there, you follow the orange cones around a tree all the way back.
The event also gave students a chance to express themselves creatively through costumes and cosplays. Kenny Gomez, a junior mass communication major, said the event gave her the prospective excuse to dress up. Organizers said events such as the Renaissance Fair are designed to build community on campus, while giving students a break from their daily routines through fun and interactive experiences. For more information on future events, visit the UTRGV webpage on V-Link. This is Diego Montano for Vaquero Radio.
McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV field house.
Now time for Vaquero Sports.
The UTRGV Spear program is preparing to welcome a new group of athletes across cheer, dance, and starline. Here's Carmen Gonzalez with the details.
It's just an incredible experience, and if anybody has the opportunity to try it, I fully 100% suggest that you try out for one of our teams.
With a new season ahead, each team within the Spirit program is looking for athletes who can bring both performance and commitment to the event. Head coach of the Spirit program, Isela Gomez, said this year's tryout go beyond just technique, looking for determined students.
We're looking for someone who is versatile in their schedule to be able to attend our many practices at early or late hours during the day. We're also, looking for people who really stand out at tryouts.
She added academic commitment is just as important, with athletes expected to meet team and university standards. Dance team captain Mario Alavardo said tryouts will challenge athletes to be adaptable as the program continues to grow.
Come in with a positive attitude, of course. You want to start off auditions really strong and come in adaptable. We're going to be adding a lot of new additions for our tryout requirements this year because our mission is to grow the program.
She said standing out is not just about technique, but about bringing individuality to each performance.
We're going to do different styles. We're going to do pom, we're going to do jazz, we're going to do all these sort of things on the field, outside of the field, and you want to add your own little tweaks to it. You want to add your own sass, your own sort of style, so come in being yourself.
For Starline Major Mark Criado said memorization and energy are important, especially when performing in large venues.
There are times where we were learning routines the week of performances. So this year, we for this upcoming year, we want to make sure that when we go into the season that we have everything completed as to routines, stand lines, sidelines, making sure that everything's ready and set to go, because we practice a lot. So to have everything memorized before everything is a big win for us.
He added that this year's tryouts process will begin with video submissions before selected athletes move to in-person auditions. Cheer captain Ariana Elizondo said preparation starts before tryout day.
There's 2 clinics before. They teach you how to, the basic required skills, and then you learn the fight song and a little chant that goes along with it. And there's also a tumbling portion and a little interview.
She said confidence and commitment is one of the most important qualities judges look for.
It's more about confidence other than skill based, mainly because skills can be built throughout the season. But yeah, confidence and just commit to the program and to themselves to I want to learn more, I want to be better, I want to be a good athlete,
Across all teams, Gomez said new members can expect a demanding but rewarding schedule.
As a new team member, you should expect to have an absolutely exciting college experience when you're part of the Spirit program. Yes, practices are early for cheer and dance teams and they're late for the drill team, but you build relationships that you're never going to find anywhere else. And they're just so special, building those connections with people that are your peers.
With tryouts approaching in May, the Spirit program continues to grow, offering athletes the opportunity to represent the university while being part of something bigger than themselves. Students interested in signing up can visit UTRGV Spirit program and contact them at spirit@utrgv.edu. This is Carmen Gonzalez for Vaquero Radio.
Drop straight back towards a crossing route. McCaffrey, touchdown. That's big time.
Hello Vaqueros, here is the sports schedule for this week. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the baseball team will be playing at the number 6 Oregon State in Corvallis, Oregon at 7:30 p.m. And on Thursday, the men and women's track and field will be competing at the Cameron Burrow Invitational in Houston, Texas. That is the sports schedule for this week. Remember to bring your student ID to all home games and support our student athletes. This is Emilio Suarez for Vaquero Radio.
And now for this week's events calendar. What's up, Vaqueros? Let's check out all the fun events happening this week. On Monday at the Brownsville campus, we have Sundays on Mondays happening at noon at the B-Stew Veranda. Also happening at the Brownsville campus library lawn, we celebrate UTRGV's 10-year anniversary from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We didn't forget about you, Edinburgh. On Thursday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., you will have your 10-year anniversary celebration in parking lot E16. And to wrap up the week, the Student Union will host a Baseball Lucha Libre tailgate party from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Troxel lawn. That is the event calendar for this week, Vaqueros. Remember to bring your student ID to all UTRGV events. This is Ariana Gallardo for Vaquero Radio.
And now, for this week's campus weather report.
Hello Vaqueros, here's the weather forecast for this week. In the valley, it will be a hot and windy week with highs reaching up to 99 and lows staying around the mid-60s to high 70s. We will be starting this week with mostly sunny and breezy conditions, followed by windy weather through Thursday. We are expecting a significant cool down into the weekend with a chance of rain starting Saturday, along with much lower temperatures. That is the weather forecast for this week. Remember to dress accordingly for these weather conditions. This is Susana Ramos for Vaquero Radio.
That is the newscast for this week.
Remember to read our news articles every week on our website, utrgvradio.com.
Tune into Vaquero Radio through our website or download the Radio Garden app to listen wherever you are and enjoy the best DJ shows around campus. Remember to check out our YouTube channel for the latest news from UTRGV and the Valley.
Our weekly newscast will also broadcast at noon Wednesday.
Join us next week, same time, same place.
Only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Don't forget to saddle up every Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m. And remember, V's up!